Hey guys, how's everyone doing? This is Nick from ForexNews.com with the daily analysis. Today is Thursday, the 18th of July 2019. Time is 10 a.m. here in the UK, and you're looking at a EURUSD daily chart. Today's analysis, we're going to be looking for price action setups across pretty much all the pairs listed to the right here. These ones. When I say price action setups, I mean continuations, reversals, all kinds of setups. As long as it's price action, I trade it. So let's get started. First, we're going to kick things off with talking about the setups I shared earlier in the week. Well, last week I shared a bunch of good setups. This week I shared some crappy setups. Sorry guys, but that's just the way the market works. You can't be on fire every week. This week has been a pretty crappy week for me. I took New Zealand and AUD/USD shorts. I shorted both these pairs. Started off going really well, and then we just saw a massive amount of USD weakness across the board. USD was just dropped, essentially. You can see here, USDCAD dropped. And obviously, on the other side of that, New Zealand USD went up. So we saw some, USD NOK didn't do that, but, you know, the other ones did. So we saw some USD weakness, and of course that caused AUD/USD and New Zealand USD to move against me instead of for me. Sad times. What can you do? So New Zealand USD hit my stop loss. AUD/USD didn't hit my stop loss, but I closed it out because things just aren't looking good for the US dollar right now. So yeah, that's those two trades done. Especially this New Zealand USD one. This one looked really good. I was looking forward to this one. But yeah, just gonna accept it. Someone messaged me. I won't say who because I don't know if they want me to sharing that. But they asked me, do you ever get annoyed when a trade doesn't work out, or something along those lines? And the answer is yes, sometimes I do, but I responded to them, but now I'm just saying this to everyone because I think it's an interesting question, and I think it's a question that a lot of people need to know the answer to, because when you're a new trader, yeah, you're going to get annoyed. You're going to get very annoyed. But when you've been doing this for a long time, you just get used to this kind of stuff and it stops annoying you. I do still get minor annoyance sometimes when a trade moves against me and hits my stop loss, but in this case, not really. I mean, the most annoying times for me is when something like, you know, it gets down to here, it gets close to my target, and then it turns around, and in just a single candle. Especially when, all right, just give you an example of something that would annoy me. And not even annoy me that much, it would annoy me a little bit. It takes 4 or 5 candles to get down to here, which is almost close to my target. 4 or 5 candles to get down to here. Then one candle comes up and goes boom and hits my stop loss. So it's taken 4 or 5 days to get down almost to my target. Now that we're within sight of my target, a single candle comes along and bam, pushes to my stop loss. That kind of stuff annoys me. But this sort of stuff where it never really got anywhere, it doesn't annoy me. This is just the reality of trading. I was on the wrong side of this one. I wasn't even necessarily on the wrong side. It's just, for whatever reason, we got some USD weakness, which then caused the bullish move. So yeah. Dollar index is dropping again too. Right, so EURCHF, can't remember why I had this marked. Oh, I think someone entered this one, another one that's not doing well. EURUSD, now this is one of the ones that I shared that is doing well. I'm not sure who got into this one though. I can't even remember if I shared this on Tuesday. Did I share this one on Tuesday, guys? I think I might have shared this one with a mentoring student. I don't think I shared this one on Tuesday's analysis. Let me double check. Oh no, I did. I did share this one on Tuesday's analysis. My bad. Yeah, so I shared this on Tuesday's analysis. I unfortunately didn't enter this one. This one's going well. Is anyone in this? I know it was posted to the forum. I know Catherine, I'm looking at the forum now, Catherine's in it, but I'm not sure if she's here today. Stan's in it, and the guy who posted it, Deep Park, is in it. But it doesn't look like it's that popular of a trade on the forum. There's only 3 people who have responded to this one. And it doesn't look like anyone who's in here is in it, so. Oh well. Hey, at least I shared one decent trade this week. I'm going to move this down to here. I'm just going to quickly organize these because we've lost the alphabetical ordering and I hate it when that happens. Oops. When they're not alphabetically ordered, I find it really difficult to find pairs when I need to. So there we go. Right, so let's take a quick look at the news today. We have core retail sales out of Canada coming up. Aside from the G7 meetings, which are happening all day, the only big thing coming up, which is not technically today, it's tomorrow, is CAD retail sales. But we don't do a webinar on Fridays. So that news is something that we usually discuss Friday news on the Thursday webinar. But yeah, there's only the CAD retail sales. There's the G7 meetings. I mean, G7 meetings are important, guys. And generally speaking, I try to trade carefully through the G7 meetings. But I didn't want to give up trading half of this week because of the G7 meetings. So yeah, news-wise, we don't really have, other than the G7 meetings, which might keep some of you out, we don't have that much to worry about. So let's get into the actual analysis. Let's quickly take a look at the trades I shared in yesterday's analysis and on Tuesday's analysis. AUD New Zealand, I can't remember what we're doing here. We're looking for potential long, I assume. But it seems to have dipped down further than I was wanting, so there's nothing happening here anymore. This one's off. Euro GBP has pushed up close to this resistance area. This resistance area, I know I have it up here, but it's just a really wide resistance area. You can see that from here. It's actually backed away from this resistance area quite quickly. I was waiting for it to push up further because even though there is some resistance down here, I was hoping that it would get further into resistance, like so towards the top, because that would be a better short opportunity. But it seems to have stopped pretty low in the resistance area, and it's turned around already. Is anyone short on this? Looks like Bizarre is short, and Reward. Is it a new member? Oh yeah, it's a new member. Are you Rawad from the forum? ADNK47? No. All right. Cool. Yeah, so Rawad posted it to the forum, but BizUp and you are in it. I'm sure some more people are in it. You got in at the same level as him. Let's actually see where he got in at. It looks like 0.90235. I'm gonna set up a thing just so we can visualize this trade. Yeah, 235. Then his stop seems to be, oh god, it's hard to see. Just gonna make it bigger. 90534. And his target seems to be 89540. So I'm assuming, like you said, yours is somewhat similar. So it would have been something like this, entered based on the 12-hour. That stop loss is extremely tight though. Is your stop loss the same? I know it's tempting to have as tight a stop loss as possible. That way you can have a better risk to reward ratio. But sometimes it makes sense, especially when you're trading counter to a strong trend, to just have a wider stop loss so it's a bit safer, and then just sacrifice some of that risk to reward ratio. Trading counter to such a strong trade. This is a huge trend. I know it's at pretty significant highs, but it's a huge trend. When you're countering such a strong trend, wider stop losses are important, and you just have to sacrifice some of your risk to reward ratio and just go for a 1.5 hour. Yeah, see, I think what you're doing is better. I know this trade, it doesn't look as sexy because you don't have a big 2.3 risk reward ratio, blah, blah, blah. But when you're trading counter to the trend, having those big risk to reward ratios just tends you tend never to hit that target. But anyway, guys, this looks like a good trade. I'll mark it as green so we can track it. Yesterday, I looked at EURJPY for a potential long here. Now, this one I'm actually really interested in still. Been tracking this one for quite some time now. Basically since July 3rd, when price was dropping back down to here on this candle. I said, oh, that's awesome. We're about to hit the bottom of this range, and I want to get in long at the bottom of this range. But then, of course, it started going up, only to come back down eventually. So it's taken quite some time, but it has hit the bottom of the range. So we're at the bottom of this range. I'm really interested in going long at the bottom of this range. I love trading ranges. They tend to be the most reliable trades you can get. So this is a range here, and I'm looking to go long, back up to the top of the range. We got 2 bounces from the top, 2 bounces from the bottom. Price is stalling out here at the bottom right now. 12-hour, it's stalling out. It's stalling out across the board. It's stalling out on the daily. Of course, it's stalling out on the smaller time frames. This one, I'm looking to enter on either the 12-hour or the daily. I'm still very interested in this one, like I said. Yeah, Gil, finally. It's taken a while. It would have been nice if it just dropped straight down on July 3rd, but it just decided that it wanted to spend some time going up. But yeah, I'm excited for this one, guys. I've been waiting for this since July 3rd, essentially. And now the day is finally here. So I want to see how this daily candle closes, but I'm also looking at the 12-hour candle, seeing how this one closes. And I'm definitely looking for a long trade here, long to the top of the range, or at the very least long to here, because we had this kind of minor area created here. The long could stall out here. You'll find that this happens with ranges sometimes. So you'll have a range and the range will get narrower as time goes on. So we might end up getting a range between these two levels now. Now that might not happen, but I have seen it happen a lot of times. So if I do go long here, I will be prepared to exit this trade at around about this level, which would be roughly here. Right, okay. I guess I answered your question without reading it. Yeah, it would be riskier, but not. Yeah, no, I was thinking that when I said it, Aaron. It would be riskier than it would if it hadn't stalled out there. But you could still probably pull off a 1.5 risk to reward ratio there, and this is a pretty wide stop and pretty wide target, a pretty wide entry and pretty wide stop. So yeah, it would be riskier, but I am prepared for that. GBPCHF, there was a potential long here yesterday. I mean, I guess it's triggered, but it's counter to the trend. It's a risky trade, guys. I marked this one for people who were interested in risky trades, but I wasn't really that interested in it. New Zealand CAD's hitting the top of this resistance, hitting this resistance area right now. It's showing signs of stalling, but definitely going to wait for the daily to stall out here and then look for a potential short. USDCAD, nothing much going on. I was waiting for a break below this support area, looking for a potential short, but yeah, it's just right now it seems to be moving sideways essentially. So I'm just going to leave it for now. Let's look for some new setups. Nothing. How you doing, New Zealand? No. Cancelled. Oof, Bitcoin has lost value again. But it's got a nice little indecision candle here, so it could be headed back up from here. Who knows? Yeah, nothing much has changed from yesterday, guys. What was this? I can't remember what the hell this is. I didn't enter a trade here. I don't know why I have that up there. I can't remember. Maybe I was just showing something to someone. This is the failed New Zealand USD trade, USDCHF. Yeah, there's nothing much new going on. It's just the pairs that we marked yesterday that we were tracking yesterday that have, look at silver. It's crazy. Yeah, so it's just the pairs we were tracking yesterday. We've got a potential long on EURJPY, GBPCHF. There's a potential long here that you should probably be in already if you want to trade, but I find it's a really risky trade. So I'm very apprehensive about getting in, and I haven't got in, and I'm not going to get in. New Zealand CAD though, this one I'm interested in. Price is stalling out on resistance. We just need to wait and see if it manages to break this resistance area or if it's going to continue to stall. Because the last few candles on the 12-hour chart have been inching their way up with higher highs and higher lows. So I'm not quite convinced that bears are going to take control here. So I'm just going to wait and watch. And USDCAD, we're just waiting for it to make some new lows for a potential short. So we'll just keep track of that. The main one on the table is EURJPY right now. Some of the other trades that are open are EURCHF, which ain't doing that much. EURUSD, which is doing quite well, and it's the only good trade I can brag about today, because all my other trades didn't go too well. And EURGBP, which I didn't personally share, but was shared to the forum by another member, and is doing pretty decent right now. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. It's a bit of a short analysis session. Not that much going on, but that's just the way it is. Any questions, guys? What do I think about XAU USD? What do I think in general? What do I think right now? In general, I think this is a tough pair to trade because support resistance on it is a bit wacky. It's trending up, but it's obviously hits a pretty strong barrier up here. And it just can't seem to get beyond this kind of 1425. Seems like this is a massive level for it. It just doesn't want to get above that. It's making another attempt right now, but I just don't see this as a safe short, because progressively each time it's hit this level, it started to move down less and less. So I wouldn't be surprised if it does something like this. So obviously, I don't trade these things. These are triangles, at least not on these time frames. I just don't find them that reliable on the daily, to be completely honest. But I have nothing against them. I just mean for me personally, I don't find them reliable. This doesn't mean that they suck for everyone. It's just for me personally. I know a lot of people who trade these kinds of triangles and they do it successfully. So it all just comes down to what works for you and what you find comfortable to trade with. I don't personally find these comfortable to trade with, but there is no denying that we're seeing a triangle here. I don't know what kind of triangle this is called in trading terms. As I said, I don't trade them, so I don't know what these are called. But we're seeing price progressively dropping lower. So we're probably going to see a breakout to either side. I would not be going short here, essentially. I know we have what looks like a good short setup, but I think there's a good chance that it's going to stall out somewhere like here or higher. I mean, it could very well break out of the triangle and drop down from here, but I think there's a good chance it's going to stall out here. I'm not going to do anything with it. What do you think about it? Like, why are you asking about it? Have you got like a game plan? Are you thinking... All right, fair enough. All right, guys. Well, it doesn't look like there's any other questions. Therefore, I'm going to wrap this one up. Yeah, not been a stellar week for me. But sure, next week will be better. Next week is looking pretty slow in terms of news, which is not always a good thing because it means less market movement in general. We just have a lot of Euro stuff next week. Yeah, overall, it's going to be a pretty slow week. In terms of news, anyway. News is a market mover, so I actually like seeing a lot of red reports because it tends to get the market moving. But we also got to consider that it is summer, and summer trading is always slow. Summer trading is always slow and boring, and it takes ages for your targets to be hit. Summer is, generally speaking, the worst period to trade. One sec. So here are the spreads for EURJPY across a lot of different brokers. I see not all these brokers are, decent brokers. Some of them are, I would say, dodgy brokers. Not necessarily all regulated. But the first regulated one I saw was IC Markets, which has 0.75, which is about half of yours. Axie Trader also has 0.75. So it seems like the low end for legitimate brokers is 0.75. I noticed GBPCHF somewhere here has 1.37. Who's your broker? Forex.com always has high spreads. They have 2.1. So it seems like we're ranging between 0.75 and 2.1 across all brokers, all the legitimate regulated brokers. 0.75 seems to be the lower end. If you're trading with GBPCHF Bank versus GBPCHF Europe, GBPCHF Bank has pretty decent spread on it too. Keep in mind, GBPCHF does charge commission, so the spread, you have to add commission onto that spread. But I mean, it's not too high. Like, just this move is 121 pips. So let's say we wanted to go long here, right? Say this was the long trade we took. So we got 152 pip target, roughly. 152 pip target. So essentially, your spread is about 1% of that. You're paying 1% in spread. To get into this trade. Not that bad. It's not that bad at all. Because like, if you go to EURUSD, let's say we entered in long on EURUSD here. Similar setup, kind of. Versus, where's the EURJPY one? Yeah, so this is similar. Drop that entry in. Right, so this is similar. Now, this is 82 pips, so it's half the pips that you're getting from the win. Like if it ends up being a winning trade, it's half the amount of pips. Not exactly, but close. Just a bit more than half. So what's your spread on EURUSD? Just looking at this broker thing again. 1.2 pips. Wow, that's a big spread for EURUSD, to be honest. Now, I guess it depends on the broker. It depends if you're paying commission and stuff like that. But yeah, so this is, technically speaking, it's a lot better trading EURJPY spread-wise than it is trading EURUSD for you. Because on the EURJPY trade, you're making almost double the pips. But the spread you're paying is what? I'm trying to do the math in my head, but I'm failing. Around 30% more? Well, no. 1/3 more is what I'm trying to say. Well, that is 30%. I'm sucking really bad at this. What I'm trying to say is you're paying 1/3 less spread on EURUSD, but you're making half the pips. Rich, what country are you in? I've posted this to the forum and everyone seemed super interested. So I went to all the trouble of setting this up, setting up a relationship with a rebates company. And then when I finally got it set up, I'm like, hey guys, I set up the relationship with the rebates company, and nobody has responded. I set up a relationship with a rebates company. And I know rebates sound like a dodgy thing, and I thought they were a dodgy thing forever. And I looked into them, and I met this guy from a rebates company, and they are completely legitimate. What they basically do is they'll give you money back on each trade you take. And I know, again, that sounds dodgy, but let me explain how it works, and it makes complete sense. And I've tried it myself, and it's completely legitimate. They basically get you to sign up to a broker through their affiliate link. Now, when they do this, the broker pays them every time you take a trade. This is a way for brokers to incentivize people sending, companies like Forex for Noobs or like any company, sending them clients. So I don't have any of these relationships set up with brokers because I don't really like them. But let's say I send a client to a broker and I have one of these relationships with the broker. Every time you take a trade, the broker's going to pay me a certain amount. Now, what rebate companies do is they send a lot of people to the brokers, and every time a person trades, the rebate company gets a kickback from the broker. But instead of taking all the money, the rebate company then shares some of that kickback with you. And the reason they do this is because that way that they can send more people to brokers, because if someone's getting a rebate, they're likely to sign up through the rebate company. So basically, And you don't pay any extra to the broker in spread. So basically, the most effective way to lower your spreads is essentially to sign up through a rebate company. That way, whenever you take a trade, the broker pays a kickback to the rebate company, and the rebate company shares part of that with you. I set up a relationship with a rebate company. I don't make any money from it. Be 100% clear on that. I don't want to make money from stuff like this. I set it up for you guys. So if you want to get rebates, just send me a message and I'll set it up for you, and you guys can get a kickback essentially every trade you take. You get a small discount on the spread. It's not a huge amount, but you know, anything is better than nothing. It's essentially free money. You're not doing anything for it. You're taking a trade and you would have lost all that money on the spread, but now you're getting, like, it depends on which broker, blah, blah, blah. You're getting 10, 20, 30% back. Like, why not? Yeah, just email me. I know it sounds dodgy, guys. It sounds super dodgy, but when you look at it, it's just one of these scenarios where everyone wins. Because the broker wins because they get more clients. The rebate company wins because they get a kickback, and you win because you get part of that kickback. Boom. Podcast going to be released probably on August 1st. I'm in the process of editing all the episodes. I've had some issues with equipment, but I finally got good equipment. I've always had a good camera, but linking it up to my PC has been a massive, massive issue. But I found a way to link my computer, my camera to my PC. That way I can record straight. I can use my DSLR camera for as a webcam, essentially. So I've made that work. That's all looking pretty good right now. Sorry, I just wanted to see this. So I've shot the podcast. Now I just got to shoot the intros to the podcast, because I'm going to do a brief intro to each. And then I'll slap them all together. Thing is, like, these days podcasts, you got to release them on YouTube too. And with YouTube, you need to have video on it, which is kind of an annoying thing because, you know, at that point, it's no longer a podcast, it's a video. But there's going to be audio versions and video versions released. So yeah, I'm aiming for August 1st. August 1st, I'll be releasing 6 at once. Or 4 to 6 at once I'll be releasing. That's the plan right now. 4 to 6 in one hit, and then the following ones will be coming either twice a month or once a month. I'm not sure. See what kind of schedule I can keep up with those ones. It's hard to find people to interview though, because there's so many people in this industry that are completely full of shit. I'm just going to say it. And I don't know who's honest. I can't really tell a lot of the times unless I look deeply into their content. I can kind of suss it out if I look deeply enough into their content. Some people I can tell straight away when they got a YouTube video of them driving a Ferrari or in a helicopter, then, you know, straight away I'm like, yeah, this guy is just a marketer. But there's some people who, you know, they seem on the surface legitimate, and it's hard to figure it out unless you really deep dive into their content. So it's hard to find people that I'm willing to interview, because I don't want to interview dodgy people. and promote them essentially. But there's a few candidates out there. And also, I want to do a podcast different to what the podcasts are these days. I don't want to just be interviewing people who are just going to promote their trading strategy. Because there's enough podcasts where people promote their trading strategies and they've done really well. Like Etienne Creed's podcast, Cam Hawkins' podcast. You know, they do a good job of diving into people's trading strategies, and I don't want to do that. I want to focus more on the lifestyle of trading. So if you guys have any suggestions as to guests I could invite, feel free to let me know. Just send me an email and say, hey, Nick, I think this person's pretty good. I'd love to see an interview, blah, blah, blah. And I'll check them out and I'll see if I can hook up an interview with them. But anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap this podcast up, this webinar up. Freaking podcast in my head now. I'm going to wrap this webinar up. Thank you guys for attending. If you want to get rebates sorted, I've set up a relationship with a company who basically is going to sort it all out for you. Just to be 100% clear, I said that I don't earn any money from it. Normally, when you set up one of these relationships, you do get a payout. Now, they do send me a payout. They will be sending me a payout, which goes straight to charity. I've been thinking of doing it two ways. The payout they send me for each trade, I'm either going to send it to you guys so you get even more, but that just seems like a lot of admin work, and I'm not sure if I want to do that. I think the best thing to do is just send it to charity and have like complete transparency, so there's proof that it goes to charity. That's the way I was thinking of handling it. So giving the money back to you guys makes sense from a standpoint of you get even better deal on the rebates. But like I said, it is so much admin work. I'd essentially be losing money because I'd have to hire someone to do the work. Well, I wouldn't have to hire someone. I would just have to have someone I've already hired do extra work. So I'd be paying them extra hours. So I'd be losing money. Whereas if I just send it to charity and show you guys proof that it's been sent to charity, that kind of works out better. I mean, you'll feel good because every trade you take, a piece of it's going to charity and you're paying nothing extra. Basically, you're taking money that would be going to the broker is now going to a charity. So, yeah. But anyway, that's a very, very small amount. We're talking like a tiny, tiny amount of the money goes to me. And yeah, I'll send it to charity because I don't like making money from you guys on your trades. I think it's a huge conflict of interest because then it incentivizes me to get you guys to take more trades. Not that I would ever do that, but just it is a conflict of interest. And then if everyone knows I'm making money from their trades, then people will start to think, is Nick trying to get me into this trade? And I'm sure most of you guys won't think this because you know me, but there's definitely going to be people who are like, is Nick trying to get me into this trade because he's going to make money? And then also, if I share a losing trade like I did on New Zealand USD, and there's like 500 of you signed up to rebates, then that trade might not even be a loss for me, right? I might lose money on my account, but because you've all taken the trades and I'm getting a cut of every trade, then I'd end up breaking even on that trade, which is crazy. Sounds appealing, actually, but I don't want to be in that position because I just wouldn't feel good about myself, if that makes sense. I'd feel like this is a bit of a shady situation. So I'm not making any money from it. I'm going to be sending any kickbacks I am sent, which are very minor anyway, to charity with proof. And when I get the boat, we are going to do a Forex meetup on the boat for sure. That's going to be cool. Yeah, from a business standpoint, it is pretty good, isn't it? I take a crappy trade, and because a lot of you guys are taking the trades I take, I end up breaking even on the trade. It's kind of funny if you think about it, but I just wouldn't feel right about it. So yeah, not something I'm willing to do, no matter how nice that sounds. But yeah, if you start seeing me completely change my tone, because whenever I post a trade, I'm like, make sure this trade's right for you guys. Don't just rush into it because I'm in this trade. If my tone changes from, hey guys, everyone jump in this trade, it's such an amazing trade, just jump into it, don't even think about it, then you probably know something is up. Probably know I'm making some money from you guys jumping into trades. Anyway, I'm kidding. Obviously, this would never happen. I'm not going to do shit like that. I like being able to look at myself in the mirror and not feel like I'm a horrible, evil person. I did this rebates thing for you guys, not for me. I asked on the forum if anyone was interested in me setting it up, and because there was so much interest, that's the only reason I set it up. So yeah, if you guys want rebates, let me know. But other than that, guys, I've babbled on for way too long. This analysis has gone on way longer than it should have, because we finished talking about pairs ages ago. So I'm just going to wrap this one up. Thank you guys for attending, and I'll catch you guys later. See you later, Aaron and Gil and Rich and whoever's left in here. It seems like only you three are left. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for attending, and have a good rest of your day.